Alright you guys, welcome back to another Opera on There video, where we're going to be taking a look at the team comps that I use for the latest D4RE to Defy, the latest Dare to Defy that we had for this month. I know that with all 7 quests, there are some of them probably were a challenge for a good amount of players, especially those that don't have a big roster. Like for veteran players, it probably wasn't too bad. I mean, there were some fights that you did have to put up with certain mechanics and whatnot. Like I'm going to say that the Dare to Defy 1 and 3 were probably the biggest pain for a lot of players, just because of boss mechanics and all the stuff that you had to put up with, etc., etc. Like the first Dare to Defy was what is it? Area 6. 6? Yeah, 6. 6 was it was Area 6. Yeah. And that one, you just had to put up with a lot of crap from the enemies. Yeah, the HP was a little bit lower than the actual area 7 itself. Oh, not 7, but 6. Excuse me. But in general, though, it was still. I don't think it was a very fun experience, especially if you didn't pull for Yuffie. Then yeah, that fight was definitely not the best overall. But I did beat that fight. I did use Yuffie just because I was not going to put up with the mechanics. Plus, I always pull for every single FF7 character that drops into the game, because FF7 is my favorite Final Fantasy. So yeah, Dare to Defy 1 and then Dare to Defy 3, which was Spiritus Ifrit. That one, I can definitely see a lot of players struggling with that one. Thankfully, though, there were a good amount of team comps that you were able to do. I know on the initial fight for for Ifrit Spiritus, I did do a pretty much like a carry run with Ruby Conte and Quina, and I carried Braska, and I do believe you can. I know for sure you can probably do the same thing for this specific Dare to Defy. But I do think that out of the 7, those 2 would probably the hardest ones to put up with. Dare to Defy 2, I did it with Beatrix. She did not have her BT. If you are still trying to complete that one, if you have Beatrix up to FR, then you can still very much do a solo run with Beatrix if you did not pull for her BT weapon. I wouldn't have minded having Beatrix BT, but I didn't chase too hard for it. Dare to Defy number 4. This one was what was it? Avenea's. Avenea's BT and Sephiroth's FR's weapon drop. So this was Sephiroth's IW. This one wasn't too bad. You had to deal with the yellow ores, and you had to break them to be able to continue dealing damage. So yeah, this one was not too terrible for a Dare to Defy. Number 5 was going up against area. What was it? Area 7. Was it 7? Yeah, it was 7. This one wasn't too terrible, especially if you had a good mixture of magic and melee units. Like the team comp that I went with this one was with Quistis, Sid Reigns, and Sarah. Especially like the biggest thing with this one, like even if you did not choose to pull for Quistis, then thankfully there were other characters. Avenel was really good for this one because she does delay by 2 turns, so she can take care of the octopus. When it comes to the what is it, the dog with the guns on his shoulder. Basically, you had to launch it whenever the ores was active, and you had to make sure to deal magic brave damage, because anything else it would not work. But you had to take care of that ore first, because if not, then you will not be able to do any type of damage whatsoever until unless you're dealing magic brave damage. Then yeah, it's basically like the 2 ores, like the ores for each of those 2 enemies was a pain in the butt, especially if you had them both together. Then yeah, that was not fun whatsoever. Dare to Defy number 6, which was the story chapter part 1. That one wasn't too horrible. I went ahead and just did it with Astos just to knock it out the way. there are many team comps. And a lot of these Dead to the Fives, when you really look at it, and if you actually search on YouTube, there are a good amount of Dead to the Fives where a lot of these can be soloed or duoed as well. Like I have seen multiple runs. I do believe there was one Dead to the Five where Ruby Conte was used a whole lot, and I think it was for Dead to the Five number 5, but don't quote me on that. But I do believe that one was a very big Ruby Conte solo for a lot of players, just because of like the mechanics and what. No, not solo, duo. Excuse me, because you had to have Quina on that specific fight. I think it was Dead to the 5-5, but I cannot remember. But I know one of these was a very popular Ruby Conte duo with Quina because of the mechanics. But I do feel like it was Dead to the 5 number 5, and then number 7 was going up against Ultimate Weapon. That fight wasn't too terrible. Yeah, you were going to take damage regardless, and thankfully it didn't really affect the HP requirement, if I'm not mistaken. So that one I went ahead and did it with Aranea, Rem, and Ursula. I made sure that I did not let Ultimate Weapon's Force Time activate. So I wanted mine to activate first before it activated is. Oh yeah, is. But yeah, overall, this Dead to the Five, it wasn't too bad. I think for me, I think the first one was probably the most annoying one out of all of them. All of the other ones, because, you know, I'm a day one player and whatnot, they wasn't too terrible for me. So yeah, I just wanted to share my team comps. If you want to share your team comps down in the comments below, in case there are any other players that are still currently trying to complete all of the Dead to the Five, feel free to comment down in the comment section. I think some players would greatly appreciate it, but I'm just gonna skim through it real quick for those who may have missed. I may have been scrolling a little bit too fast oh wow, I was talking about each of the Dead to the Fives. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully this Dead to the Five wasn't too bad for everybody, and that's going to be it. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.